Alright guys, and welcome to a new series on the channel. It is budget building. I put up the intro for it yesterday. Try and get a little bit of hype behind the series, you know. I'm excited for this series. I'll explain it, but as you can see on the screen, we've got a decent team there. The prices for PlayStation is 24,800 coins, and being on Xbox myself, it's 27,700 coins. So the average is around 25k. And the theme for this episode, I'll explain the series as well, but the theme for this specific episode was just trying to get players who look overpowered into the team. And obviously, we're on a budget. We're trying to do it as cheap as possible, but we also want to get some of the most overpowered looking cards in the team. So, you know, it's just a nice easy theme to get this series started pretty much. Obviously you do have your odd filler player in there. I wouldn't say Christensen looks the most overpowered. He doesn't look bad, but 82 rated and he was like 800 coins. How can you turn that down? Memphis Depay and Promes, they were just like the main attractions for this team, for me at least. But what this series will be, each week we'll have a theme, and then we'll go out and try and build a cheap team around them. Doesn't necessarily have to be like the cheapest team. We can always get, as you'll see, Dalvin and Alonso was in there. They added up to around 10k between the two of them. It's not necessarily going to be we're going to use bad players. We're never going to go out and pick up bad players. We're going to try and build the best team around a specific theme or a specific player for the cheapest way possible. So next episode will be around a random inform. I'll go on the market, I'll get Siri to give me a few numbers, and we'll get a random inform, and then I'll have to build the best team around them for as cheap as I can possibly make it, while the team is still usable. Now you'll notice I've only got one game from Division Rivals in this episode. This series will be based in Division Rivals. In this episode I've only got one game from Division Rivals, and as you will have seen then, I played 9 games with the team. The footage that I had, it didn't record, apart from one game, and that is my mistake. I tried to record it all in one sitting. The Elgato that I've got probably isn't good enough to do that, but I managed to get one game. We came up against a guy with a few legends and whatnot. You'll see how we did in that game, but then I had to jump in just to get highlights for this episode because I wanted it up today, the day you're watching this. I've had to jump in to online single matches just to get some easy highlights with the team. So the highlights that you see won't necessarily reflect on how I feel on the team, obviously, because online single matches aren't really that competitive. But I wanted to get the video out as quick as possible as I'm trying to upload daily for December. But as you can see, that is the team. It looks pretty insane to me. A lot of overpowered looking players in there. Very cheap. Let's see how it does in game. Alright, so into the first game. This is the only game recorded in Division Rivals. As you can see, it's got a few, well, a really decent team there. A few legends. I think he had Gareth Bale. He had the Michael Ballack legend, the legend. I don't know if he completed the SBC for that, but he looks insane. And as you can see, we went 1-0 down. I think I went 1-0 down from kickoff. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure I went 1-0 down from kickoff. But the problem I had with this game is I was, well, at least in my opinion, obviously, I'm always going to say it, but I think I was the better player in this game by quite a bit as well. And I show the stats at the end. We keep going. I kept going 1 goal down against this guy just from what I felt was defending errors. It was never like the team wasn't performing. It was just my genuine defensive errors, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I was making silly mistakes. I think I'm too used to using players who I can count on. But as you can see there from the stats, I had 9 shots on target and he only had the 5, and it was an annoying game for me. It was quite frustrating. And these are obviously just friendly games. They're all in online single matches, which at this current time isn't great because everyone's doing the MLS challenge thing. So it was very easy. Don't base this team off of these highlights necessarily. But as you could see from that first game, that's why I'm happy I at least got one game. I'd have preferred to have got all 5 there. But off that one game, you can see it is competitive enough for how cheap it is as well. It's definitely a competitive team. You can take this team into Division Rivals. You could probably take it into Foot Champs and do just as well. It's just I think you need to sort of adapt to using the lower. I mean, look at that overhead kick there. He rage quit after that as well. I would have rage quit if someone scored something like that against me. But yeah, I think you just need to adjust to using players who haven't got like the great, well, especially for me, seeing as I'm using such a high rate of players who haven't got the greatest stats in certain areas. You need to find a balance and use them where they're good. So it was, especially with the defense, it was just positioning and stuff like that. At times it seemed a little bit off, but when I got used to it and understood how I needed to pull the players back differently to what I normally would, it was easy to adapt to. But obviously playing the online single matches for these last few games, I played a few of them last night and then I've just played one this morning. In online single matches I can't really get a good understanding of the team because I find them quite easy, to be honest. There's no competitive nature. This is why I'd like, if I think it was Nepenthes who said it, I'd like if they brought back the Gold Cup or just any of the, do you remember the online cup modes? I don't know when they took them out, but they was so good for videos like this where I want to build fun teams. I'm not even necessarily building these teams to be competitive. I want to build fun teams, and the best place to go and use them teams where the games were somewhat competitive but no one really was that bothered if they lost was in the cup mode, because everyone, you know, you lose, you start over again, no big deal. It's only 4 games to win. That's what I used to enjoy in FIFA. I hope they bring that back next year, and you know, series like this can thrive, I think, with that game mode. But we've got a few star players in the team. Quincy Promes, and Memphis Depay, everyone's going to know how good they are. They're insane. They could make it into my main team, especially Memphis Depay. What a card he is. The biggest shock for me, and it caused some disappointment, is his name Daniel Was, whatever it is. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly, but his card is ridiculous. And why I say the biggest disappointment is, I wish I completed his Footmas card now, because he is insane. He is easily the best card in this team, for me at least, and he is just overpowered as hell. A lot of this team is just overpowered, which you would expect from a team that looks like this. You know, it is a ridiculous team. As you can see, the GOAT for the episode is Daniel Voss. Each week what we'll do, we'll have a GOAT for the episode, and then, I don't know, I might actually just keep the GOAT at the minute. And if there's no one who's better than Daniel Voss in next episode, he remains the GOAT. And obviously eventually the best player out of every team that we use at the end of the series will have a budget building legend. So it's going to be an interesting series. I hope to keep this running throughout FIFA 19. Obviously, with new cards being released all the time, there's a lot of fresh content to be made with this series. So hopefully you guys stick around for the journey. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you drop a like on it. If you have any themes or ideas for themes or players to build teams around that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments down below. This series can be driven by all of you people watching. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and comment themes. Peace.